What's up guys, Draconia here with another Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we're gonna quickly talk about this banner for the Super Vegeto and if it's worth summoning on while it's still available. But before we start with the banner, I want to quickly look at Ultra Super Vegeto's new plat, because this has obviously an influence on if you should summon on this or not. Just to quickly go over the things he gets 30% HP, 50% to his base stats, 180% damage, 130% damage guard. He draws now 2 cards on entry, gets 50% HP. When he enters 70 key and has type neutral defense for 10 timer counts. And then on slot 4, assuming you have it at least 7 stars. On cover change, he reduces key by 50. He increases enemy sub counts by 3, and when the allies get hit, he gets cover null, and he reduces his own sub count. So, assuming you have 8 stars, you have this equipment. He now gets cover null not only from his unique gauge ability, but also when your allies get hit. And it's interesting that he also lowers his sub counts by 1 unlimited amount of times, because usually like units who used to have this, like for example the red Zenkai Revival Cell, he only had that like up to 10 times, I think. So it's interesting that he has this unlimited amount of times. Overall, this is a great lad from the abilities here you see. And also now I personally have faced him yesterday a few times already, like on 8 stars, or I even think of 14 stars as well. On the best setup that I think for him right now is with Ultra Namek, Goku and Fitku. I think that's the only team I saw him so far. Obviously Vegeta the leader slot, and then maybe 1 or 2 Zenkai buffs for Vegeta and Namek Goku. And this team seems really good, and Vegeta also himself there as it tanks a good amount of hits. He heals back with getting 50% HP on entry, and having generally speaking a lot of HP because of the stats he has here and other equipments he gets. So overall, Super Vegeta right now, it's really good. I would say easily a top 10 unit right now. So the value for him as a character with his pet is already looking very good. So now we can look now at the banner, which sadly is only available for 72 hours, which is pretty annoying. So basically when my video comes up, you only have like half the time left, because not half, 1/3 time left, because yeah, I didn't manage to do that yesterday, I was too busy. Now we will quickly look at the banner format. So on the first step, you have your usual 1000cc summon and you get 10 characters. Then in step 2 and 3 cost 3000cc, but give you also 30 characters. So basically you have 7 steps reduced into 3 quick ones. In total we have to spend 7000cc, which is I would say, considering that you're getting a free copy of Vegeto and Ultras are hard to pull, I think 7000cc is okay. I think that's a reasonable amount. But I think the 72 hours is really annoying, because what you have to consider is we could potentially get, I mean it's not guaranteed, but I think it makes the most sense. It would be crazy if they don't do it, that we get a new LF character next week. So you also have to consider that, and you won't be able to find out who the new character is before this banner runs out. So you really have to make your choice now, until the banner is still up. So I will say immediately, if you don't have Super Vegeto, and this is not talking about I want to have this unit's perspective for like having Vegeta at his highest potential possible, I don't think you should summon in if you don't own the character, because if you do that, you would get Vegeto, guaranteed, but you still would need another copy to get like the slot 4 abilities. And with the slot 4 abilities, obviously Vegeto's looking at his best. Now, a lot of his good abilities that he needs are actually not on slot 4, but I think if you really want to have Vegeto at his best, you should have him at least 7 stars. So that's what I think. Now, in case you have Vegeto, like for example, like me, I have him at 5 stars. I think this banner is worth it. To get a guaranteed copy of Vegeto if you have 70,000 CC available to you, but you also have to think about what you want. Do you want Super Vegeto, or do you want to look at the next LF character that's coming up next? Assuming that you I would say the average person doesn't have a lot of CC left for this, because we just got 2 Ultra banners in part 3 and everything. I personally have 30k ready, but I got extremely lucky on my Ultra summons, so that's a different story. But some people most likely aren't and don't have that much CC left. So the question is, you will spend your CC on Vegeto to get his plat, and then probably skip the left banner with whoever comes out, or do you wanna skip Vegeto? That's the question you have to think about for yourself. I think Vegeto is a good investment, looking at what he has to offer right now. He's not a crazy unit, but he's also not a bad unit at all. He seems like a really good character, but not broken in any sense. So kind of like, I would say, like Saiyan Saga Vegeta, the other Saiyan Saga Vegeta, who is also not a broken unit, but he is a really good unit. I think in that sense you can look at Vegeto here. Obviously he has better tanking and other stuff than Saiyan Saga Vegeta, but you get what I mean when I say he's a good character and not broken. That's why I'm comparing them together, these two quickly, so you get what I mean. You also could have the chance that if you're summoning on this banner, you draw in Vegeto from the steps beforehand. So Vegeto is still able to summon Vegeto before you even get to the last step, or potentially you could draw a Vegeto and as well get the guaranteed Vegeto on here as well. But I wouldn't really summon on this if you don't have Vegeto and counting on like, okay, maybe I would get him in another in these lucky steps as well, because at the end of the day would have to use 7,000 CC for this, and basically hope that you get 1 copy normally and then you're guaranteed. And I think at that point, if you're going for that and don't have Super Vegeto, you might as well just still go in the Ultra Namek Goku banner or the Ultra Frieza banner, because these 2 units are definitely better than him. That's at least personally in my opinion. I don't think Frieza or Namek Goku are worse than Vegeto right now. So, and if you look at the banner, obviously, besides the Vegeto, the rest at this point is just too old. Like, all these tankers are basically only benches, and the rest of the unfeatured units are not worth mentioning because they are not very good. Too old at this point, or the just Zenkai benches, so it's really just not worth summoning on if you look at value outside of Ultra Vegeto, obviously. So to give my final, opinion on this, should you summon on this? If you don't have this character, I would say no, just simply because I think looking at the best you need for Vegeto is 8 stars, so 2 copies. So that's what I would say. If you don't have him, you should rather not summon on him and maybe focus on saving more CC for what's coming in the future. If you have Vegeto at 5 stars, like me for example, I would say it's worth summoning on in case you don't care for the next release that's gonna come out. If you do care, I would rather say skip, just because you never know. We also can't tell what the next unit is, which color and everything. Could be that Vegeto is getting worse afterwards or not, we don't know, but looking at how the game is right now, he's definitely worth summoning on. You just have to value for yourself what you prefer. Do you prefer to have him guaranteed, then as your 8-stars unit that you can definitely use, or do you want to save for the next coming LF character? That's what you have to think about if you want to summon on this banner. I don't think you're making a wrong choice with either of these two options, to either wait and skip or summon for him. I personally am skipping, even though I've actually 30k right now, but I'm hoping for Ultra, I'm hoping for LF Buhan next week, and I prefer Buhan over Vegeto. I like Ultra Super Vegeto, but he's not like one of the most interesting characters for me to use. I'm more of the, I have some specific teams I want. I don't have a team for him actually, really. It would be really just him, that's why I'm also skipping. So if you guys, for example, don't have a good team option with Ultra Super Vegeto, because this is one of his biggest problems. He is on Fusion Wars and Majin Saga, and both his teams are kinda dead. He's the only really available character right now on these two teams, so he's basically locked on leader slot. So if you don't have a good team to play him with, like me for example, I would also say skip the banner. So yeah, that's just to quickly recap. If you everything, if you don't have Vegeto, I would not recommend you skipping. I would not recommend you summon on him. If you have him at 5 stars, I would say it depends if you have a #1 available team and also don't care for the next release to come, then definitely summon on him. And if you are someone who says I don't have a good team for him, or I want to prefer pulling for LF banners, I would say skip the banner then. That is everything for this new Vegeto banner. It's really just annoying that they made it limit for 72 hours. If it would be 1 week, it would be much easier to make a decision on that. But yeah, but at the end of the day, we have to live with what we got. So whoever is gonna summon in this, I hope you guys may manage to maybe pull another Vegeto as well. Extra would be really nice. And also, if you have this guy already at 8 stars, obviously also I would say don't summon on him. You don't need to have him that high. 8 stars is enough to him to be good. So yeah, let me know if you guys summon on this banner, or did you have, and if you had the luck to pull another copy on Vegeto as well. And see you guys in next video, probably when next week, if they're gonna announce a new LF character, or maybe Zenkai or whatever. Alright, bye guys.